Alright, let's head on to the Nether portal, using our automatic elevator to get up top. And let's head on in. Alright, here you can see we have a room, and this chest has oak boats and minecart. And so now we can go either to the end, which will also bring us to the various end cities. And if we go this way, we can go to the different biomes. So let's start by going to some of the biomes. Put it there, hop in, hit the button. Obviously, you can see here that is, I guess, bedrock, so we're at the very top of the Nether. Which is why the portal was built so high up on my fortress, to get me as high up into the Nether as possible, so we can just use these as ways in. As you can see from the sand, I guess we can hop out and take a quick look. This will be the portal to the desert, where I can get sand and sandstone. I use a lot of it for glass and other things. Oh, a pigman. So as you can see here, I've been harvesting this desert. My main farm, though, my world is straight north. It's that way about 1,000 blocks or so. It's not that far away. It's just across this ocean, but this ocean isn't huge. There's a shipwreck right there that had the most, I mean, for being that close, you just come straight across. Obviously, when you find yourself next to an ocean when you spawn into your seed, it's always a good idea to check that ocean to see what it borders. Gives you a hop in a boat, and you have a quick way to look at some of the other biomes. And there's really nice biomes right next to my build. There's a dark oak forest and a mushroom forest just right next to where my main build is, just over there. Oh, you can. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can just see portal there. So there's a treasure ship right there that leads to you get a map in it. But that's all right there. So anyway, I harvest sandstone out from underneath that mountain, and then the sand itself comes out of here. I've been excavating this desert, so that's where this portal leads. Off that way, the desert is not particularly huge, but there are 2 desert temples. I've already raided both of them, so it's a good location there. All right. Hop back in and keep on going. So those are basically like automatic train stations. It stops the minecart but leaves it on a slope, so you don't have to like push forward on your WASD keys. You just push the button and the minecart continues again. So they work out really well. It's a convenient way to get around, and the minecart will automatically stop at each station. All right, this one has. So we have bamboo, jungle wood, and acacia, because this particular location happened to be at a corner of all 3. And so we step out here. Right away, we can see that we're in an edge of an acacia biome, and it's right up against that the desert. We were just right there. You can actually see the one hill I excavate just over the hill there, and we have both the jungle and bamboo forest and acacia wood, which I love acacia wood. It's hard to find. Acacia biomes are actually one of the more rare biomes, and so it's nice to have it relatively close. I mean, really, this is an intersection of 4 biomes. We've got the desert, the acacia, the bamboo, and the jungle wood. So this is a nice spot to have just a little portal to run out and grab the necessaries. Also, you got your cactus there. As you can see, all these baby acacia, I've completely harvested this recently, and the trees, I haven't been spending enough time here to keep these chunks loaded to allow the acacia wood to grow up. But it was freshly planted last time I was here. I was just picking up a bunch of acacia. All right, let's continue. All right, hop back in and continue. And really, I've seen other people set this up so that there's switching stations, and you just basically select a switch. Like if you want to head to like a particular biome, or you hit it, and there's only one train track, and basically you can actually build switching stations into these minecart railways using pistons. Pistons don't break the minecart tracks; they actually move them, and you can actually cause them to turn. So it's just something a lot of people don't realize you can do that. As you can see from the glacial ice, this is where my glaciers are. And the reason I had to have this is we're quite far now. This is the farthest we're going to be from my. We're quite a bit. I think we traveled 1,600 blocks in the Nether. Look, there's a. That desert is not the same desert. We are 1,600 blocks in the Nether, which translates to what was that 16, 8,000, and then 6. So we're about 12,000 blocks. But I did not. So polar bear. So the reason I'm here is because I want blue ice. So if you don't know, you can make pathways that you can use a boat on to travel extremely fast. Minecarts travel at like 16 blocks a second. You can run, I think, 8 blocks a second. Minecarts travel at about 16 blocks a second, but you can get a boat and glide across ice faster. Packed ice is faster than regular ice, and then blue ice is even faster than that. So blue ice, in order to make it, let's push the button here. So this is blue ice. Blue ice is the fastest. On a boat, you can travel at 80 blocks a second. It's the fastest form of transportation in Minecraft without mods. And so what you do is you harvest regular packed ice. So as you can see here, that is packed ice. And you put those into a crafting table and you get blue ice. So you need to harvest quite a bit of packed ice to get blue ice. You can take regular ice, I think, and make packed ice out of it, but if you just find glaciers, they're made of packed ice. So you don't have to, you can skip that step and go straight away into just taking the packed ice and compressing it essentially into blue ice. And the blue ice is what you're after if you want to make a super high speed transportation network. I think you can actually use packed ice and blue ice in the Nether too, but I had to use a railway to get here, so that's the distances that I'm traveling in the Nether are not so great that I would need to travel at such an incredible speed. And these glaciers are huge. You can see they extend way down into the ocean. Like that one, I hollowed it out. But I've harvested quite a bit of ice because I'm converting it into blue ice. And some of the glaciers are made from blue ice. They're more rare, but you can see ones right there. So, and there's plenty of pack. This glacier field goes off that way probably 1,000 or more blocks. And it's very narrow. It's funny, this glacier's right next to a desert. It's kind of hilarious, but the seed creation never really concerns itself with that. But this field heads off that way and that way. It's like essentially like a wide river. It's not really like a true ocean. It's just this really wide river. And there's these massive glacier field that's in the river, and it just goes for as long as this really wide river does. It's interesting. So anyway, that is where all the packed ice comes from that I use in my builds. And you're saying, well, I haven't seen any packed ice in your build, and I'm about to show you that. So, and the reason I keep these, what are these called again? These are ender chests. Yeah, geez, you see how much I pay attention to stuff. So I keep boats, some gold in case I have to go outside. You know, obviously, just underneath this floor here is, you know, the main nether, and you'll get attacked by pigmen if you're not wearing some gold. As you can see, I just have my netherite on. So I keep some enchanted protection 4 gold leggings in my ender chest, so anytime I need to wander around in the nether, I can just grab these, and you can leave these laying everywhere, and the same items are stored inside them. I keep boats, and I keep minecarts in them, some torches, you know, just the basic necessities for when you're out and about. Alright, let's head back to the main station. So I don't know if I will convert this into a packed ice or a blue ice highway. I think right now I'm content to just leave this. I don't go to these areas that much unless I get, you know, if I'm doing a build and I need the particular resources that are located. I would have reason to be here, but other than packed ice, for instance, the various woods, I can build a tree farm very near my fortress, and then I wouldn't need to travel out here to these, especially these ones. I wouldn't need to come over here once I have tree farms next to my fortress. And you can automate tree farms. There's ways to do that. So then you can have unlimited wood of any type you like, and it's a lot faster than manually harvesting the wood anyway. Those automated tree farms are quite impressive. And so I was thinking about, well, it's not. I will do it. I definitely will at some point. So it's just a matter of getting around to it at that point. But and when I really start building out the fortress, I will need huge amounts of various woods for decorative reasons. So I will probably build the tree farm before I continue much more effort on the fort. I have to get the shell of the fortress finished. I mean, as you can see straight outside from the inside. Here we're back at the main hall, and we're going to continue on to the end now, and that'll also bring us to the end cities. But once I have the fortress's superstructure completed, then I'll worry about, then I'll worry about finishing up the other farms that I need, the other automated processes, and then I'll begin the more tedious process of actually decorating the inside of the fortress. But that's also function over form, because I will be putting in the conveyor systems to get the products to the various chambers that I need them in. So here I have end stone to designate this as the end portal. Now, since we're not coming back, I'm actually going to go ahead and, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's put that right there. I'll stick this back in the chest, because we're not returning. We're actually going to return through the end, which will spawn us in the overworld next to the fortress. So I don't want to leave my minecart here. I'll just stick it back in the ender chest, and it'll be waiting at the beginning. So let's head on in. Now, unfortunately, in order to find this, what do you call this thing here, the end stronghold, I had to walk over the overworld. This thing was interrupted. This thing is a mess because it was cut in half by a large ravine. So this was a very messy, extremely messy stronghold. And you come in from the surface right there. So you come down. That's the surface right here. I came down, went right here, and there's the end room. So I fully explored this this place, and I've actually began disassembling it and hauling the stone back to my sorting room. Obviously, these mossy stone blocks, these weathered-looking blocks, they're really great looking. And you can manufacture them, but I just been completely bulldozing this structure. I don't remember where I left off, but I've been bulldozing this thing and simply, spider. Hold still. How rude. Man, people always interrupting my videos. But I've been literally just harvesting all the stonework in this place and been bringing it back. So at some point, if because I want to use this in the build too. This stuff looks really great. I always like the way these places looked. But anyway, so here we are at the end. So I have beaten the Ender Dragon. So let's just take a look at what I've built in the end. Okay, that was a bit quicker than the last portals have been. But all right, so as you see here, I excavated a nice little room in a tunnel. There was supposed to be a chest sitting here, but for some reason it deletes itself. I don't know what's going on. And you'll see that I have a blue ice tramway. So I was supposed to grab a boat because, yeah, there was supposed to be a chest right there. All right, I'm going to use some editing magic. Okay, so like I said, a little bit of editing magic. Kaboom, there's a boat in my inventory. Where did that come from? Amazing. Okay, so there's supposed to be a chest right there. I don't know what happened. But this is how you use a boat tramway. You set a boat on it, you get on it, go like this, you crash into that Enderman. All right, and you just press forward until you get going about 80 blocks a second. Now, it's very difficult to tell you're traveling that fast. And it looks like I'm not moving at all, but I'm actually traveling at an insane speed. You're about to see. So, because these islands are at least 1,000 blocks, so I've already traveled over 1,000 blocks. And that's what blue ice is for. And that is this huge end city. Look at it spawn in. There you go. It's not even all the way in yet. Yep. That's one of the biggest naturally spawning end cities I've ever seen, and it has a boat. And that's just for decoration. I don't even need that end city because just up ahead, I have an area where there's like 5 of them clustered in a spot, and they all have boats too. So here we are. Let's just hop off that. All right. And take you with me. Okay. So now we're, I think, about 2,500 blocks or so from the end island where the dragon is. And that's how fast you can get around with blue ice, 2,500 blocks in just a few seconds. So very, very convenient way to travel. And so this end city is the first one. This is a smaller end city. It didn't have any particularly nice aesthetics. So I already harvested all the I don't know, I got my elytra out of that boat and um, got all the shulker boxes and everything like that. And I will eventually begin tearing these down to get the purple blocks. I like to build with that stuff. Not so much the purple, but these ones. That block looks really good, so I like that. So anyway, we have a whole bunch. Like I said, there's actually a cluster of about 5 end cities. If I increase my draw distance, boy, you can just barely see it right there. I don't know on YouTube if you guys can make that out or not, but there's another one right there. And anyway, but there's 5 of them. If you turn the draw distance all the way up, which I'm not going to do because my frame rate would lag too much. From this spot, you can see like 5 cities. So I actually just built a minecart tramway. Yeah, I could have done blue ice, but it's, believe it or not, it's with my iron farm. It's a lot easier to build. Excuse me. It's a lot easier to build railways, believe it or not, than the blue ice tramway. I literally have chests of rail sitting around, and so I just say whatever. Once I get to this point, I can take a train around to the various end cities. There's one right there. That's where that track goes. So and then you see another one right there. Now you can start to see them. They're spawning in because I'm getting a little bit closer to them. So these end cities have not been fully harvested. I just finished putting this railway in to harvest, and there's a boat at every one of these. I don't know how freaking lucky a person can get, but I have stated before earlier in this video, or in the earlier portions of this video, that this seed is incredible, and I'm not kidding. I don't know where you're going to get a cluster of end cities so tightly packed. Each one of them has a boat. Each one of them has an elytra. I haven't bothered to collect any of these elytras either, but if this was a server world, I think in this direction, just this one direction alone, you know, okay. So I'm not even going to get out. I'm just going to keep right on passing. Let's see when the other one will come into view in just a second. Yep. But if you get your draw distance to max, you can see them all. They're just cluttered here. And this is only one of the cardinal directions away from the end island where the dragon spawns, because I only defeated him once and only opened one of the 8 possible is it 8 or 12? I forget. But there's 8 portals that you can open up, and this is only one direction. And yep, there's another one right there. So that's where we're headed. So as you can see, they're in this one. I think even this one has a boat. One of them might not. This might be the one that does not. But I plan to destroy all these end cities and harvest their materials for my own purposes. But I also am interested in I think if once I kill the Ender Dragon a couple more times and go to the other end islands, I may, if I find something even better than this area with all these end cities, then I may choose some other place to build a fortress in the end. And obviously I have to build an Enderman farm and all those things too, which I have not done yet. So this one is still up. There's one. He's going to start firing at me. So I got to get ready. I might not trigger him. Yeah, this one hasn't been touched. I just literally got here. So I'm not gonna mess with that because otherwise I'll start floating. Yeah, I don't think that one did have a boat, but all the other ones did. So this is a heck of a place. So I might strip mine these end cities and build my own, and utilize their building materials along with my own building materials and build a nice fortress here. But that'll be very much a end game thing, just a show off kind of a thing. But right now these are, and there's more. I mean, I haven't really bothered to explore too much. When I had my draw distance set to max, these are the ones I could see, so these are the ones I connected into this network. But I fully intend to explore the end much more thoroughly at a later point in time. But right now, this is just what I've done so far. So That's a pretty sizable end city. That's not a bad one. The one that we passed on the way in on the Blue Ice Highway is the biggest end city I have seen. And of the 30 plus seeds I have where I've gone into the end, that's the biggest end city by far. I'll go back to it and stop a second so you can truly look at how it didn't even spawn in completely because of how big it is. So I'll give a closer look to that one, and then you can really see. But this isn't a bad sized one either. There's probably upwards of 30, or well, probably more like 40, 40 of those shulkers. So you can get like 20 shulker boxes out of that city alone. That's a decent sized one. Everything I have, all of them came out of that one, and that's a tiny one. And I think I got about a dozen. I got about a dozen skulkers, or shulker boxes, so 24 skulkers, and that got me a dozen shulker boxes on this, just this one little one right there. So a big end city, yeah, you could easily get 30 to 50 shulker boxes out of a truly large end city, because that's a very small end city to give me a dozen actual boxes out of it, you know, which is 24 individual halves. So that's, and I probably could have done better than that. I mean, some of them got away from me. I'm not going to head over to that one. I know there's this. Oh, so desperate to. You want to, for the people that are OCD for the truly complete tour, you'll probably be like, no, 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 take the other train track. So I might humor you. But there isn't a lot to say when I'm here. You know, I'm just following the riding the train around. So I don't know how exciting that is for viewership reasons, but I guess for the sake of completion, we'll go ahead and do it. What the heck? But this is not the most aesthetic. There's one thing wide. I wasn't a big fan of doing that. But then by the point, it was a little bit tedious because I'm not with these railways. This was just to try to automate getting to the various end cities. So I wasn't exerting a lot of effort into putting these in. I still try to make them at least somewhat aesthetic, but I could have done a lot better. I could have made really huge bridges, and I still might. You know, I mean, I'm kind of I like to see that, you know, proper support structures. So I might. I hadn't gotten to it. I was really hemming and hawing about doing that when I ended up started filming these videos, and I haven't done a lot with the world since I started making these videos. As anything I do future to this world will be something I will film, so that you can join me as we continue to build up this world. I won't be doing it off camera any longer. So there you go. Ooh, let's go. Here they come. Alright, that thing will chase me all the way back to the beginning too. It's crazy. And there's about there. And there's more. If I turn it up full blast right now, there are there's, you know, one thing though I just noticed was Enderman right there. You never see Enderman over here. They don't spawn in. I don't know why. It's for whatever reason. But if you've noticed, there aren't any Endermen, and I mean, it's on normal difficulty. They should spawn in. They just don't. I don't know why that's the way the game does it, but I don't mind. They're more of a nuisance than anything else. They're not a true threat. So once we get over here, this one is completely cleared out, so I'll walk around in that for just a quick second, so you can, for those of you that have never seen an end city or actually gotten to one yourself, it is kind of, it's a feeling of accomplishment when you finally do get to an end city, because that means you've already beaten the dragon, and you're kind of moving into the phase 2 of your Minecraft experience, where you're you know, you're just doing things for the heck of it to kind of show off, you know, so which is fine. But end cities are the coolest structure, in my opinion, that there's that naturally spawn in. How do I? Where's the entrance to this thing anyway? Yep, exactly the last place I'll look, of course. So this is what end cities are like. Now, when you're in here, you're getting attacked by those shulkers constantly, and you keep floating up to the ceiling, and it's a giant pain in the butt. But they're basically a parkour. You have to do parkour to get around in these things. So I am not the best parkour you know, platform jumper by any stretch. So I bring cobblestone with me and cheat a little bit. But yeah. And then these are those end rods, and you're supposed to actually climb these. Yeah, I kid you not. This is how you're supposed to get up here. And it's it's sketch. And then you can go over to the boat and there's meanwhile these shulkers are attacking you the whole time, so it's kind of ridiculous. It is actually a decently hard. Um, the first time, once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. But your first time climbing your first end city, you're all excited. Yeah, you got to the end city. You can, you're finally a real Minecraft player. You've accomplished something, and then you're just getting your butt kicked in here the first time, and it's kind of humbling because it's actually pretty hard. I mean, realistically, Minecraft is not a terribly difficult game, although they are starting to make it more difficult. Obviously, the new warden, doesn't exist in this world because I haven't updated yet. But I mean, he's not a pushover. He's actually almost impossible to defeat. And then there are people that literally have aquariums where they keep a warden on display. So I mean, there's different levels of Minecraft players, obviously. I like to think of myself as a decent Minecraft player, but I'm hardly elite. I'll give it that. Um, but the one thing I'm not good at parkour, and I don't know how I don't know. I'm excited to get this world to the point where I'm ready to update it to the latest and greatest so I can go after the warden, and I'll see how that works out. But I'm going to now show you that one end city, and then I think we'll call it good there. You don't slow if you're rubbing against the side, it doesn't slow you down any. Really, you can ricochet. But let me slow this down, boy. Slow down. Back her down. Back her down. That is a massive end city. I mean, that thing is just huge. Look at that thing. You would probably get somewhere in the vicinity of 50 to 60 shulker boxes out of a city that size. It's also going to be a pain in the butt because you will be attacked non-stop. But that is a very large end city. I know there are bigger, but that's the biggest one I've seen in any of my worlds. And I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I think I'm going to leave it there as a decorative exhibit of what a nice end city can look like. So that's it. That's pretty much the extent of everything I have to show you guys. So if you've watched the whole farm tour series, then I appreciate it because I know it's just me talking and showing off the things I've done. But I'm proud of it. Oops, clipped the edge there. Man, before when boats used to be destructible, oh, that'd been the end of this boat. So some things, there's some things they do that's nice. Exit this way. Yep. So there was this mighty battle with a dragon. There's not really a lot of Endermen here right now. I don't know what the deal is with them spawning in. This was not bad. This world was not the first world. Even though this was my very first seed, and on the world that got corrupted, I had defeated the Ender Dragon, and that was the old school Ender Dragon. And you just had a power 5 bow. You didn't have netherite or anything like that. You just went in there with some diamond armor and a power 5 bow, and you versus him. And I took him out in the first try. I was really proud of that. When I got cocky, though, when I did this, when I had to rebuild this world, I came in here to get the Ender Dragon right away. And man, that dude smoked me. I wasn't paying attention, and he took me out fast. I was like, whoops. But I came back here and I took care of him and built all that. So, and I'm in the cow. I don't know why I don't drop in on that end stone. It randomly drops me in the cow pens. And there's a donkey in here. Where'd you come from, buddy? But whatever. It was supposed to drop me off right here. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I end up in the cows. Who knows? So that's it. Now we're back at the beginning, and that is the tour of what I have done so far in my mega farm. I appreciate you coming with me so I can show off what I've done so far. There's a lot to do, but I will be doing it on camera from this point forward. I still have a couple more videos to make, like the iron farm, maybe a build tutorial on this. A lot of people have asked me to do a build tutorial on this, so I think I will. Maybe before I go back and continue working on this world. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. This is pretty tedious, and it's easy to do at the beginning of the game. So I might start over. Once we've got this world all built up, I might start like a Let's Play series. And I'll do an even bigger version of this farm and show you how easy it is to build these awesome, huge-ass farms. So anyway, that's it for the world tour. So I thank you for coming along. and I will see you again shortly. Bye bye.